XL 96.9. Gonna drink a little drink. Gonna smoke a little smoke. That's Eric Church. It's 8:41. I'm Tony. He's Scotty. Thank you very much for tuning into XL Mornings. Clouds and sunny breaks today in Greater Moncton, and eventually up around -1. It feels like -13 with the wind chill right now.
So we have a special guest in the studio. Dave, thanks very much for coming in.
My pleasure. I'm happy to be here today.
Did you say Dave Carroll from the band Sons of Maxwell? And a wider population, wider audience may know you from your viral video.
United Breaks Guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the story, if somebody hasn't heard it, I mean, it's epic. You were traveling. You had a very special, dear to you, Taylor guitar.
That's right.
And someone looked out the window and alerted you somehow that, hey, they're throwing guitars down there or whatever. I'm paraphrasing, but
yeah.
So you looked out, you saw it, and sneaking suspicion was it was your guitar. Did you know right away it was your guitar that they were throwing around?
Well, this woman just yelled out for anyone in the plane to hear. Oh my God, they're throwing guitars outside. And we knew that we were probably the only band people there, so I didn't know it was mine, but they were throwing all of them, I guess, tossing them. And it was my Taylor guitar that ended up being broken, and I didn't find it until sound check at that first gig.
Oh! So, and Scotty, a few minutes ago, and he said, you know, when we mentioned you were coming up, he mentioned how did you put it? The most effective complaint letter ever written.
It was basically
it's a customer service complaint, and it's been called the most successful in history because of the viral nature of it. It became a YouTube hit, and it also became a mainstream media story. So well over 100 million people are familiar with this story and the power of one person and all of that.
And somebody has crunched the numbers. I don't know, like you're because of what happened, United somebody has put a tangible number on how much money they've lost. Is that true?
Well, at the height, BBC News in England said that it was responsible for a 10% market capitalization drop of $180 million to their stock price. It dropped to 10%.
Wow.
And you could argue too. You know, you see a lot of their advertising. You know, like extra baggage fees now and stuff like that. And airlines, you know, there's such competition there. But your video, your song, and the media backlash brought about corporate change with that company, right?
It did, and companies the world over. That's been the really amazing thing, is that there's some huge brands in the world that have mentioned my name in my video as we don't want a Dave Carroll to happen to us, or those kind of things. And so,
don't you Dave Carroll me.
Do it. Do it.
Became an out.
So they'll have a special meeting and show your video and say this could be us. Let's make sure.
That's happening. Yeah, big companies are actually licensing United Breaks guitars to show to all of their employees as what not to do.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a real change agent.
Really, you could have gone different routes, and I mean, I'm sure you were angry or whatever. You seem like a really calm, level-headed fella, but I'm sure there was anger there, and you could have really gone a different direction. But it was tongue-in-cheek, and your video was really funny, and it got results. So I was telling Tony, I remember growing up going to Queenie School, we would take, in English class, we would take a course, how to write an effective complaint letter.
Right. And
essentially the teacher would say, you know, don't lead off with "Dear Boneheads, I hate you," or whatever.
That was my first draft.
There you go. And we're in the
Nice.
last draft.
Nice.
Nicely done.
Quick on the finger there.
So, so when you set it to music and stuff, what did you expect would come about of United Breaks guitars? All you wanted to do, at some point you wanted them to pay for their repairs, and then you had enough of the rigmarole, right? They put you through the runaround.
Yeah.
And so you said, you even warned them, didn't you? Fair game here, I'm going to write a song, I'm going to write 3 songs.
I told them exactly what I do, and my final offer to them was, how about just give me $1,200 in flight vouchers to pay for the repair? You'll have another chance to show me my experience will be different, and it'll cost you nothing, and I'll get that. And they said no. So I said,
easy out.
So I said my response will be to make 3 videos and share my experience. I'll try to get 1 million hits in the next year on all 3 videos combined.
Wow.
And I said, if we go that route, there's no compensation. I'm saying no to the compensation because you just said, and I'm going to forget about it, but this is what you're going to get. So I got it.
And were people fired over this at United?
No, and actually the backlash to the customer service rep, Miss Earlwig, that I was talking to, she was getting a lot of heat online, so I went online and I said, don't point the finger at her, she was only following the policies. Right. If you think this is about one person, it's not, it's about the policies. And so, no, she's still employed there, and I've never met her, but I'd love to meet her.
Wow. She basically had a book in front of her, and she's just reading out, you know, okay, this is my response to this question or this complaint, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the same world over. Anytime you call, you know, customer service or whatever. So, you're bringing about change. So what are you going to talk about? You're at the Atlantic Brand Confabulation at Casino NB this weekend.
Yeah.
And so are you going to talk about the viral video angle and how to market it afterwards? Or, you're not just a complaining airline traveler, you're also, you have a band, the Sons of Maxwell. You tour North America wide, very well known here in the Maritimes with your brother, right?
Yep.
And it played the Riverview Arts Center a couple of years ago. But how do you use it? How to take this and make it good for your brand, or what exactly are you going to do?
Well,
with it?
some of the big takeaways from this are the power of one person and the idea of persistence, but the idea of building a brand using social media, because all I did was basically tell the story one time online. I sent it to the Facebook friends and I sent it to everyone in my Outlook Express email. And it became popular because millions of people were getting into the story. That's why CNN showed it. It was the popularity and the authenticity of it.
It was relatable too.
Yeah, and so the idea is that if you cast a wide net, you may have all of your customers do your advertising for you, and it won't feel like work for them because they believe in the message and what you do.
You've made the world a better place through your song. It's true, the fact that companies paid attention to it, and if I go to a company now, I'm having problems with my cell phone, and they've gone through a meeting where they said, we don't want Dave Carroll to come after us or whatever, and they deal with me better, it's because of you. You made the world a better place.
I like the strange things that have happened. Like Buddhist monks have told their followers to buy my music because it's a non-confrontational way to handle things.
Well, you were so level-headed in your approach to them. It makes, in hindsight, I know it's 2020, but it makes you shake your head that why didn't they just fix your guitar? Hey?
And you mentioned the letter that you learned to write. I see something from Brazil where they were teaching people how to speak English using United Breaks guitars as the focus of their students to write a customer complaint letter using that about their guitar.
Well, that's such a great story.
Thank you.
Is it going to be a book someday? Are we going to...
I am writing a book right now. I've never written a book before, but I have an opportunity now, and there's so many different spin-offs, and people are offering that have written books and focused on United Breaks guitars. They're saying, well, if you ever need some advice on how to write a book, so I'm seeking advice from people.
What about a movie? You should turn it into a movie? Have you been approached? I remember the paperclip guy. Remember the paperclip guy who traded the paperclips up for a house?
Yes.
I mean, they made a movie about him.
Sure.
Well, my grandmother was in the second video in United Breaks Guitar Song 2, and I got a call about an Olympia Dukakis movie they were making in Halifax, and they were looking for people to be in it. And she got the call.
Get out of town!
They said, we loved your grandmother in video too. Can she be the
gosh.
sleeping lady in bed too in this movie? So.
Best grandson ever.
Yeah.
People are going to want to shake your hand at this thing because you're lucky. You know what I mean?
am, yeah.
Good things happen to the people around you as well. You know what I mean?
I've been very fortunate, yes.
You're like a chimney sweep.
Only you won't get your hands dirty when you shake Dave Carroll's hand.
Listen, you're really talented, and I don't think it would have happened for just anybody. It was in all, if you believe in karma or whatever, your approach to this whole, the problem with your guitar was so level-headed, and you gave him so many chances just to make it right. I don't think it would have happened for just anyone. So,
thank you.
And millions of hits. Can you retire when you get a certain amount of millions of hits on your YouTube video? Is that...
Someone probably could. I can't.
One of our dreams.
That's one of the things I need to learn how to do. But,
Well, that's terrific. So we have information on our website, xl96.com. The Atlantic Brand
Confabulation.
By
Casino
Momentum
New Brunswick,
Group.
by the Momentum Group.
and car guys.
And this is the event to Gene Simmons. You rub elbows with Gene Simmons before, or?
I think he's staying on the same floor as me in the hotel. I saw a bodyguard outside one of the rooms there, so I'm assuming that's probably where he might be. But
I first thought he's got that reality show, and you thought, boy, the cameras,
Oh my gosh, are the
Opportunity.
cameras there too?
I'd love to meet him if I can.
Well,
I imagine I might have a shot tonight.
we really appreciate your coming in, Dave. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.
It's Dave Carroll of United Breaks Guitars fame. It's 8:50.